In this video, we're going to take a look back. A year ago, we talked about virtual open houses. Well, where are we now? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Hey everybody, Katie Lance here, founder and CEO of Katie Lance Consulting, the Get Social Smart Academy, and author of the book, Get Social Smart. It's episode 232 of the Get Social Smart show. And for this episode, we decided to do something a little bit different. So about 15 months or so ago, I sat here in our living room and I did a video all about virtual open houses. A few weeks before, we all heard the news that the country was shutting down, the world was shutting down, and there was a lot of nervousness. And so I took a look at our editorial calendar and the videos we were supposed to record, and I said, okay, we need to pivot. And so we did a video about virtual open houses, and that video to date is one of our highest viewed videos ever on YouTube. I'm actually going to drop the link to that original video below because it's a great refresher on how to do virtual open houses. And so I thought I would take a few minutes in this video to say, gosh, well, where are we a year later? Are people still doing virtual open houses? The answer is yes. And what have we learned as far as what works and what doesn't work when it comes to virtual open houses? Now, by the way, if you're watching this over on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button because we have new videos that come out each and every week, and you want to make sure that you don't miss any of them. All right, so let's talk about virtual open houses. What have we learned? Number one, they're not going away. They're not going away. When I recorded that video a year ago, I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe for the next few weeks, which I think we all thought that. And here's the thing, as our world has started to open up, more places are more open than others, there are a lot of clients who, quite frankly, really like the idea of not a lot of people traipsing through their home. And not only do sellers really like it, buyers really like it too. So many buyers are saying, gosh, we love that we can preview a number of houses online first before we actually go into, and have to set up a showing or go to an open house. And so they're not going away anytime soon. And so even as our world starts to open up, and even as you start to do more and more in-person open houses, just keep that in mind. This might be something that you have in your back pocket. It's certainly a great piece of conversation as you're sitting down with someone who's getting ready to list their home. You're probably going to have those conversations about what's allowed, what's not allowed. Again, that's a little bit of a moving target. And even if your market area is open, you might also say, hey, what do you think about doing a virtual open house maybe before the actual open house, right? You might do a virtual open house a day or two in advance to kind of screen out, and so the people who actually come to the physical in-person open house, we know that they're not just the looky-loos, but they are a little bit more serious in terms of their home search. So number one, it's not going away. Number two, you can still do virtual open houses either from the property or at home. And we saw this a lot over the last year. Again, depending on what is allowed, we saw a lot of people doing virtual open houses from their home, right? Now this was, holy cow, you guys, this was like a lesson in creativity. You guys were getting so creative doing this. I saw people Zooming and doing Facebook Lives. So often in the last year, you weren't actually able to go to the home, or if you were, it was very limited. And so this is still something that you can do. A lot of folks were going live on Facebook on their computer from their home, basically saying, hey guys, I've got a new listing. I'm in my house, but I want to tell you about 123 Main Street. And so they would go on Facebook Live. Now, here's what we learned, and I've learned this over the years with Facebook Live. Facebook Live works great on your phone, right? If you're out at a listing, but if you're trying to go live on Facebook Live from your computer, it's a little wonky. I don't know if that's a technical term, but it is a little wonky. And so I actually prefer either using Zoom, if you're gonna go live on Facebook Live from your computer, or we love using a tool called BeLive. BeLive is a tool we've used for years and years, and it just works a little bit easier because if you're going live from your house or your office and you're trying to talk about a property, you wanna be able to share your screen. You wanna be able to share, if you've got a Matterport video or other videos, you wanna share maybe the listing flyer, you wanna screen share photos. So we find using a third-party tool like Zoom or BeLive, I'm not affiliated with any of those, but we just find if you're going to do that type of virtual open house, that is really effective. And I would also say, even though you're more in person than we were a year ago, this is still a really powerful thing, right? Imagine if you're able to do an in-person open house on a Sunday, you might on the day before on Saturday say, hey you guys, if you're thinking about coming to our open house on Sunday, you might want to tune on Saturday. I'm going to do a virtual open house where I'm going to share the pictures, I'm going to share some videos, and then you're going to talk about the listing, right? So you might do a virtual open house through Zoom or be live from your house or from your office or a coffee shop, where you're pulling up the picture of the living room and you're saying, you know what, here, let me show you the living room, but what you don't see in this picture is right around this corner there's this really cool nook, and then you can add your context, right? So that is something we're seeing. The other thing we're seeing when it comes to virtual open houses is that now that we can get back into properties more than we could a year ago, doing a virtual open house in a property is still something that you can do. Again, you can do that with your phone. You can just open the Facebook app, hit the Facebook Live button, you're good to go. One of the things that we've learned though, and that a lot of you have learned, is that make sure you have strong Wi-Fi. If you're gonna go live on a Facebook Live from your phone at a property, make sure your Wi-Fi is strong. So check that out ahead of time. You might choose to just do a recorded video instead of actually going live on Facebook. Now, as a caveat to that, as a bonus to that, we see some agents that will do a Facebook Live where they're actually just doing a Facebook Live to a small group of people. Maybe you're just doing a Facebook Live to one person, right? You don't always have to do a public Facebook Live. You can do a Facebook Live just to your clients or to one or two people. You could also even do a Facebook Live just to yourself, which means basically just broadcasting to yourself. You can download that and then share that as a video later on. And there's a lot of ways that you can repurpose that. So if you're nervous about kind of going live and wondering who's going to tune in and you don't want to mess up, there's a lot of different options that you can do. And actually here on our YouTube channel, if you're watching over on YouTube, we have a number of videos about how to effectively, go live on Facebook, and, some tips and tools and how to kind of get over those jitters, which sometimes happens when you're on Facebook Live. The third thing I want to say, the third lesson that we've learned is probably not surprising, but you got to be prepared. So the agents and brokers that have gotten the most out of virtual open houses over the last year are simply prepared. They're not scripted, but they have a sense of what they're going to talk about. They also don't share every nuance of the house. Every time you do a virtual open house, you don't have to show every corner and every cupboard. Think about a movie trailer. When you see a movie trailer, you laugh, you get inspired, you got motivated, you might cry, but it doesn't give away the ending of the movie, right? So think of your virtual open houses that way. Think about 3 to 5 features you want to show, and then at the end, your call to action should be, hey, if you'd like to see a tour or book a showing, contact me today, right? I would also say in regards to being prepared, make sure you promote your virtual open house in advance. If you want people to show up and tune into your virtual open house, promote it in advance, tell people about it. You promote it on Facebook. You can do a post a day or two in advance, share it over on Instagram, send an email to your database. Promote it so people will show up. That's important. And then don't forget to promote the replay. If you're doing some sort of live broadcast, there's no reason why you can't send out that replay a couple days later to your email database, or share the replay on Facebook, or share the replay on LinkedIn or other social media networks. So like I said, I don't think they're going away anytime soon. There's definitely some lessons that we've learned over this last year, and I would love to hear from you. Are you still doing virtual open houses? Let me know in the comments below, yes or no. I'm sure some of you are, maybe some of you aren't. Let me know any lessons that you've learned as well. As we've gone through this crazy year together, we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is exciting. So if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description, we're going to add some links to some additional trainings that we have on Facebook Live. I'm also going to link to this original video from a year ago so you can see what we talked about a year ago, because there's some great tips in there as well. And by the way, if you're listening to this and you want to just get better about video in general, not just with virtual open houses, but all of your video and YouTube, we've got a great new YouTube workbook I would love for you to check out. Go to katielance.com/YouTube workbook. Download that for free. It's chock full of content ideas and tips, tools, and strategies to help you get better when it comes to YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell button so you get notified when we have new videos each and every week. All right, my friends, until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye for now.